Live from Kings Mountain High School, it's Mountaineer Football Tonight, the weekly coaches show where we discuss everything Mountaineer football. Brought to you by the Kings Mountain Touchdown Club and sponsored by ASI Incorporated, Harris Funeral Home, and the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. The Player of the Week is brought to you by Butler's Outdoor Design. And now your host, Craig Short, with head coach Strait Herron for Mountaineer Football Tonight.
Welcome, fans of Mountaineer Football Tonight, your weekly coaches show. I'm here with Coach Herron. We'll welcome him in just a moment. When we come back from our first break, we're going to talk about the big win Friday night versus Hunter Huss and this week's final regular season game against Crest. So we'll be back after the break, so stick around and we'll talk football. See you soon.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA, Harris Funeral Home, and ASI Incorporated.
While their team's got the ball, they don't care. They're having their own fun.
Hand the ball off to Tate around the left side, but the Mountaineers were able to stop him in the backfield.
Let me tell you something. That is a tremendous play by Jordan Littlejohn.
Yep.
The big man, the nose guard, played his gap. He got down the line of scrimmage.
He went straight down the line.
Laterally.
Yep.
And caught the running back basically on the line of scrimmage.
And I don't know how he caught it.
I don't either. Drew, that was a tremendous play by 99. Good job, young man. That's routine. That is textbook defensive tackle play right there.
And the Mountaineer marching Mountaineer band will fight Baby Shark with the Jackson 5.
I want you back. That's right.
Hand the ball off one other time. That's Tate again. He'll cross the 50-yard line.
And I just watched Lil John again.
Yeah.
He is getting through the gaps every time.
He's called
just a little bit too quick through the line.
3rd and 6 right here. Empty backfield for Presley. Puts him into motion. That's Tate. Back to throw, but has to throw it quickly. And it is caught, but it's going to be short about 2 yards.
It's going to be short.
It's going to tell you.
Wilson is the big guy. I think he plays defense. I think he's like is he linebacker?
Man in motion. Presley gets it right up the middle, but he's going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage. Mountaineer will take over first and 10.
Huge stand.
Yeah, and that play may come back and bite Hunter Huss coaches. I would have played field position because, again, you 7-7.
Yes.
Pin that.
Coach, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Big win Friday night, Hunter Huss. They were as advertised. They were athletic. They were good.
Yeah.
I mean, all the years I've ever coached against them, I wasn't coaching Friday, but they looked the same. Looked very good. Had some really good-looking players. Take the opening kickoff, and we end up. I'm going to say his name several times, but Deshaun Camp had a great game on both sides of the ball Friday night, and I think it goes to show, like what we were talking about last week. You know, we're calling on guys. Well, not we. You guys are calling on guys to step up and fill in, and what a great addition that was. He wasn't the only one, but it stood out because, like, even on this first drive, when he gets the touchdown with 4 minutes to go in the quarter, but he had caught a couple of passes or he had run the ball. He definitely was a utility player for you Friday.
He is. That's one thing that he's been known for since we've been with him. He even as a JV player last year, you know, he even played quarterback for us.
Yeah.
So he can do a lot of things, and he's just a very talented football player. And with all the injuries we have, was kind of like running back by committee, and we decided to give him a spot in there too, and he did a really good job with it. So and then of course don't forget he plays defense.
I know, and that was a big thing too. Like he was already he was standing out there, and then I noticed he gets on offense and does well. That I think that really helps you a lot because he stepped up, but also it just takes a little bit of pressure off.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were having to worry about who was going to run the ball. Yeah. And Coach, correct me on my number if I'm wrong, but I counted. I think I counted 5 guys not starting or not even dressed out that were normally starters. I know we lost Dry a little earlier, but is that?
I say 6 because you got to include Dry and Coleman.
Yes.
So
yes.
There's 6 starters that we're missing right now.
So that says a lot. And you're talking about that, but and I'm not making an excuse by any means. I'm just saying it shows how well and how hard the guys played.
Yeah.
Filling in for each other.
Yeah.
I got to say this too. After that, and you may have seen this. I hope you saw this on film. I'm sure you did. After we score and we kick off, Avon Ingram was getting blocked and maintained, like he didn't maintain the block, like the guy kept blocking him, but he made the tackle.
Right.
It was one of the best plays I've seen in a long time.
Well, and that's you attribute that to the coaches, Coach Carroll and them. They do something, and Coach really he gets upset because when we don't do it, it's because the whole idea is you practice so that you can use those techniques and tools in the game, and then we'll get in the game, and sometimes our guys don't use it. But that's what we call block destruction. Coach Carroll does drills with those every week, and it's just a matter of getting people off of you and still going and making them play. So we're seeing more and more of our guys doing it. We just got to do it all the time.
I talked about it on air. I don't know why I was watching him, but I happened to be watching right there, and it was an unbelievable play by him, just a very athletic play.
Yeah.
And you guys get a good stop right there, and they end up going 3 and out, and then we get into the second quarter, and it has that highlight that we just saw a second ago.
Yeah.
Eventually, we get the huge stop on 4th and 2, and that's after Branch had a really good kickoff return.
Yeah.
So we were set up pretty nice. Hold them on 4th and 2. We have an interception, but the defense holds again to another 3 and out. So that's big when you've got a momentum swing with a turnover, but then the defense steps up like they should.
Yeah, and we did that earlier in the game. The first series we fumbled the ball and end up having to punt and all that. But then the defense goes out and makes them fumble and gets it right back to us. So it's they kind of went the whole time. Of course, we don't want to fumble the ball, and that was one of the things that we worried about. Because we were running back by committee, there's a lot that goes on, and if you're watching the game, our snaps weren't quite as good. We had a fumble that was basically caused by KJ having to reach up over his head one-handed and knocking a ball down to catch it, to hand it to the guy who then fumbled the ball, and so that's another thing. You got to work on it. You got to get it fixed. At this point in the season, we really should be better than that, but you got to practice.
Well, we talked about it last week and we had before, responding to adversity, responding to stuff. I mean, we turned the ball over a couple times. Of course, they did too, and I'm not dwelling on turnovers. I'm just saying what I was impressed with Friday was it was just like it was several weeks ago. Didn't seem to. We didn't quit. We didn't bow our heads. We got back up and went and did our job, and that's obviously a good sign. And we get two other scores, Coach, before the half with a beautiful 2-point play to Samaj. Yes, but scoring with 0 time left on the clock is huge to go in at halftime up with 21 points when it really should have only been 13. Yes. So, that was the deep throw from KJ to X in the end zone right there was, and great job by our players and coaches with the management of the game. Yes. We did a good job of holding them back down there tight
where a lot of times you look at the clock and you go, we're not going to have enough time, to get the ball back and score. Called a couple of timeouts, made them punt, got the ball, threw it one time, and then threw one for the end zone, and we score with 0 time left on the clock. So that was great for us. Obviously, good for momentum going in at halftime.
Because I wrote down right here, you scored the 1 touchdown to make it 13-7 with 53 seconds left.
Yeah, 53 seconds,
and then you get another one. Right,
we got another one.
That's tremendous.
That's a backbreaker. That's a backbreaker for teams. So I was really happy with the way we executed going down the stretch right there.
So going into half, I mean, I'm assuming you felt pretty good about how they were playing and what was going on.
I was really pleased with what the score was. I just, like what we've already said, and don't want to harp on it, but we've got to be able to protect the football. And but I was really happy with the way the defense played. We gave up that one long run to number 6 that was kind of disappointing. We still have defensive guys that are out of position, and it's just a matter of coaching and them believing in us and trusting us and do it the way we're telling them to. But I think it keeps getting better, and I thought that right there that the 4th down stop, and then from then on how hard our defense played was really good.
Definitely. So you're going into half up 21-7. They come out. They take their opening drive down and score to make it 21-14. Personally, I thought the touchdown pass he got, I thought the guy pushed off. I'm not going to talk about officials.
Yeah.
I do have a question, though. I want to ask about something that I didn't understand. That I'm sure there were several things you didn't understand, but there was one specifically I've got to ask about, because I'd like to know what he told you.
Yeah.
And it's not, the question I'm asking is not a bash on the official. I really want to know what he told you, and I'm going to get to that in a second. You probably know what I'm going to ask about.
Oh, I know exactly.
Our defense holds again after we score. Coach, we go up with 6-12. We score in the third quarter. We're up 28-14. And what was amazing to me about that is I made the note here. They scored at 8:23, 21-14, and we go on a great drive, but only in like under 2 minutes we score. So that's meticulous in being able to move the ball and execute the plays. I mean, granted, it wouldn't have mattered how long it took. We scored, but I was impressed with the fact that we were executing quickly enough to where we got that score in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that's a good sign, just to be able to bounce back and to answer what the other team did, but do it in a like you're saying, executing in a proper way. So I thought we never. The thing that I noticed is that we never slowed down. Right. Our guys were on top of everything, and they just kept going and kept going and kept going. We had a little bit of drama on the sideline that we got that fixed, and but overall, I thought our players really were locked in on what they were trying to do.
They seemed to be. I mean, it looked to me even from the warm-ups and start the game that they felt good about it.
Yeah.
The defense held. You get the ball with just a little more over 5 minutes in the third quarter, and you have it all the way to the end of you hold it through the end of the third quarter. The question I've got, the untimed down.
Yeah.
What was the explanation he gave you? Because as I interpret the rule, if it ends on an offensive penalty,
that's the end of
the half, the quarter, the game, whatever's over. They called a penalty on us. I think it was a holding penalty.
Yeah.
And then they gave it an untimed down.
Yeah, because I was telling our guys to go on to the other end because it was an offensive penalty. And honestly, I don't remember what he told me.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about the other one. I'm thinking about the one where they scored a touchdown and then got 10 yards.
I was going to ask about that one.
So that's the one that I'm thinking of. I don't remember what he told me.
Well, the one,
but I told him, Coach Cruz was standing on the sideline. I looked at him. I was like, "Man, I've been doing this for 30-something years, and all of a sudden these rules are changing. I don't know if I can keep up. Man, I just don't know. It was the only time that I understand that you can get an untimed down is if it's a defensive penalty, which makes sense.
Correct.
I don't know.
So the one that I was, and I didn't want to go there, but since you opened it up, I'm going to. When he signaled on the penalty from the touchdown, the guy threw his hat for the second flag, and the white hat that I saw signaled kickoff. So what was our explanation there?
Well, the question was that, so on that play, there was a penalty on us for holding, and then they scored, and then there was a dead ball personal foul on them.
Correct.
Unsportsmanlike. So the way I've done it my whole career is like, they're going to decline the holding penalty to take the touchdown.
Right.
Then on the kickoff, you get 15-yard, there should be a 15-yard unsportsmanlike against them, and then they kick the ball off.
Correct.
Well, I was told that on a scoring play, the team that scores gets the penalty and the touchdown.
I've never seen that before in my life. Because that's a win-win for them. So basically, their penalty didn't even count.
Well, no. What they did was they went to the kickoff. They backed it up 15 for the. Well, they backed it. They moved it 10 yards for them.
Yes.
And then they backed them up 15 for their penalty. So they ended up kicking 5 yards further back. They kicked from 35 instead of 40. So, but they should have been kicking from 25.
25.
But. So I don't know. And then what was funny is later on in the game, we scored, and there was a penalty, and the official looked at me and started smiling, and he goes, "You want the touchdown and the penalty, don't you, Coach?" And I was like, "Yeah,
well, yes.
If that's the way we're going to play. Let's keep it the same."
Consistent.
So anyway, I don't know. I told him I was going to go look the rule up, and he told me that I needed to because that's the rule. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to look it up.
Man, okay. So started fourth quarter. After all that went down with the untimed down and everything, we run the hook and lateral.
Yeah.
What a cool play.
Yeah.
Did you,
yeah, that's I won't give away too much. That's kind of a play that we work on every week on a Thursday practice, and honestly, I didn't know they had called it. I didn't hear it. It was at a timeout, and you know, they executed it well. X got it, and I was standing right where he was pitching the ball to, and it went through two of their hands were like that, and that ball. Yes. So, but it worked. It worked out.
I will tell you, of course, Boise State probably made it the most famous in the Fiesta Bowl that year, but I lost a conference championship on that play to Mooresville High School, and it has always been a bugaboo for me, but I'm glad we executed it.
Yeah.
We played well again defensively, Coach. We had a stop at, or we turned over on downs, we're on the 1 yard line, but we force a punt. We end up getting a field goal, which is what ends the game at 31-14. Can't say enough about how the defense played well throughout the whole game, I thought. And I'm not going to say the words bailed us out. I don't mean that. I mean, when they got called upon, when there was momentum change, they stepped up like they should have.
Right. Yeah. And again, like I said, you listen to Coach Caraway. he's complaining the whole time because people are not in position, and that's the way coaches are. You know, we want to be perfect, and he is that way. I've known him forever, and that's a great way to be. It's the only way to be if you want to be a good coach, but you also want your players playing hard, and that's what they gave us. That they gave us a lot of effort, and you can't say enough about that.
So give us your takeaways from the game, Coach.
Well, the first takeaway is that one of the things that I know as a Hunter Huss coach, you're probably pretty upset right now with all the penalties that they had, and so I look at it in that respect and tell our players, that can hurt you. That hurts you. And I know Randy's probably preaching to his players right now that it would be a much different game if we didn't get all those unsportsmanlike penalties. And so that's takeaway number one is we want to be on the right side of those penalties and not the wrong side. So keeping your composure is very important. Another takeaway is what we were talking about earlier is you've got guys that when we have players that go down, the way that we coach, we want to coach is we can't worry, get upset over things we can't control, and so the next guy's up. And so when I say we're doing running back by committee right now, we've got 3 guys that are working really hard until we can get some other guys back that are really just trying to fill in. You know, they're defensive players and they're just filling in, but they go in there and give it everything they got. So you got to be happy about that. And then I guess the last takeaway is another thing that we've already talked about is how hard our defense is playing. And we've made a little change to the way we practice now to try to emphasize the fact that we've got to get 11 guys to the ball, and so we're going to start doing that if we can get some good weather to go out and actually practice this week. To try to get them to understand that concept and make sure that we're getting guys tackled. We got to be able to tackle in space, and so we've got to get better at it, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Excellent. So it's a big win Friday for the Mountaineers over Hunter Huss, over a really good Hunter Huss team. Also fighting for playoff seed just like we are, and some big things coming up. Coach, I normally will take a break here, but I'm going to stay with it, and let's go ahead and do our players of the week.
Okay.
Because it's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to do it, which is fine.
Yep.
I know
no,
we
that
like
ain't
to do
fine.
it.
That's not good at all.
Well, I'm saying it's fine that we don't do it. It's not good to not have players of the week. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But we're going to do our Butler's Outdoor Designs offensive, defensive, and special teams player of the week along. Coach always likes to do an overall player of the week as well.
Yeah. So we'll start with the overall, and this is a toss-up. We could have gone one or two ways, and but I'm gonna go with Xavier Hutchins. He ended up, we asked a lot of him. And while Texas is down, he's got to be our guy, and him and Branch, they do a super job. Losing Devin Hopper hurts us, and so we expect a lot out of our receiving guys, to the ones that we have, to step up. X had 10 catches for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I think that he deserves to be player of the week. Plus he goes in and helps us on defense. He's also one of our returners on kickoff and punt, and but I think having over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdown catches, one was right there at the end of the half, is pretty big.
Yeah.
So on the other side of that, when I say it's a toss-up, I thought KJ Bell played really well at quarterback. He was 20 of 25 for 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 134.3, which is outstanding. So we're going to make KJ the offensive player of the week, and expecting him to keep putting up numbers like that, and when he does, he'll get it the next time. So, but they both did really, really well. Defensively, Lathan Feimster, he led the team in production points with 51, and that was pretty good. He's got 4 solo tackles and 6 total tackles. He had a third down stop, caused fumble, pass broken up, and an Alamo tackle, which that's always a great thing. You got guys that are making Alamo tackles. You don't want Alamo tackles, but it means that you guys aren't quitting and they're playing hard. An honorable mention, Avon Ingram, which you mentioned earlier. He had 38 production points and had a really good game for us. Wiley Rainey was 3rd in production points with 15. He had 5 tackles, and like you said, Little John, he had 4 tackles, and he played well too. So, but Lathan Feimster will be defensive player of the week. And last, the special teams player of the week is another guy who could have been up for the offensive player of the week, and that's Isaiah Branch. Because as a receiver, he had 4 catches for 93 yards, which is really, really good. But I'm going to make him the special teams player of the week. He had a kickoff return for 40 yards, got us out to midfield on a kickoff return, and then punt returns. He had 2 of them, also for 40 yards, one of 18 yards, one of 22. And so Isaiah Branch will be the special teams player of the week.
Excellent. Yeah, he had a good night. We said his name or not. And I was going to say, Wiley Rainey has really stepped up for you on the defensive line as well as the others. It just seems to be gelling pretty well.
And let me add that last week our teammate of the week was KJ Baker. Who's a super guy. He's given us everything he's got every day. So
we forgot to say that. I'm glad you said it. I saw the hat when I walked in. So that is our recap of the Hunter Huss game and our Butler's Outdoor Designs Player of the Week. We'll take a break right quick. When we come back, we'll talk to Coach about the final home game this week, final regular season game against the Crest Chargers. Be right back.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. Harris Funeral Home. And ASI Incorporated. First and 20. Bell rolls to his right, looking for a receiver downfield. Finds one in the flats, gets it across the 20, 15, 10. Trying to make it, but Branch on the reception, and man, what a good play inside the 10-yard line.
That was a great throw right there on the run, Drew, as you saw. KJ's throwing almost back across his body to a degree.
Wow. Welcome back, fans. Coach, let's talk about the Chargers. We already know about their record. We know what they've done. We know everything about them. I'm sure they've been looking at you as much as you've looked at them and all that good stuff, and big county rivalry game. I know they've got a lot of, especially offensively, they've got several of their weapons back from last year. Defensively, obviously I know about their good defensive backs. I know they're good other places as well. Just from your early takes and what you're seeing, what are we expecting to see Friday?
Yeah, same old Crest team. A lot of athletes that can get around the field very fast. They've got a lot of speed, and so I mean it's typical Crest football team. They're going to be hard to handle. Got that quarterback that can do a lot of things. He can hurt you throwing the ball, but then he can hurt you when he pulls it down and takes off running, and they have designed run plays for him. You know, I've said this before at South Point when I was coaching there. Our quarterback was always a dual threat guy, and that adds problems to your defense, and so that's one of the things that we're going to have to deal with. And they're big up front. You can obviously tell they're strong, and so there's nothing I can say that people around here don't already know. I mean, they're a very, very good football team.
Yeah, no, again, it's going to be good either way because they're good, we're good. It's going to be a good rivalry game. Coach, one of the questions I know people want to ask and they were curious about, do you have any idea, once that game is in the books, it's over, how quickly you'll know anything about playoff seedings? Have they told you guys anything?
No. It's really strange. And so I think our guys are doing some calculating, and I talked to Cruz, Coach Cruz, today, and he was telling me that, hey, it looks like we're going to come in there somewhere around the 13 seed, and then I've got Coach Short. He does some calculations, and he's saying, you know, if things go well Friday, we could be here and we could be there. But nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
And I just, it's weird because we were talking about the volleyball state championship, and Coach Cruz was like, Coach, you got to be ready, because if we play on Tuesday, our volleyball team wins, then our volleyball team might play in the state championship Friday night.
Right.
And if they play Friday night, we might have to move your game to Thursday and move the JV game to Wednesday. Well, I need a little more time than that, you know. But it's not Coach Cruz's fault. That's what the way it is. Well, that's what the way the league makes it. I mean, I've never seen it like that. Before the season starts, you usually already know what the playoffs is. You know, they're going to play this game at this time. And so, so when it comes to ours, I don't know. I just don't know.
I even saw one yesterday. There's a guy, he runs something called the Big Red Sports Network, but he does all the local high school teams, like all around here. And he had a bracket he had made up, and he had you as high as 8. And so again, I mean, you don't know.
Who knows?
And what I will say about that guy, and I'm not doubting anything Coach Short's done or Coach Cruz has done or even this guy, but I will say that a lot of stuff I've seen him do, he's very accurate usually with where he has he does his own ranking based on some things he does, and it usually is rather close to what the RPI and stuff is, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know you don't care. You're going to play.
I'm one of those. Just tell me where we're playing.
Just play. Yeah.
Send me some videos so we know what we're doing. We don't look completely stupid.
Well, we'll figure out what's going on as we go this week. So volleyball will help determine some of that tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck to them, man.
Absolutely.
I hope they do well.
Yeah, it's good for the community, and coaches will come in here and talk to us here in just a minute. So I'll get you out of here on that, Coach.
Yes,
good
sir.
luck this week.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Kings Mountain hosting the Chargers this week here at John Gamble, 7:30. We'll talk about that a little more here in just a moment. We'll get Coach out of here on that. We'll be back after the break, and we'll welcome Coach Pasour.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA, Harris Funeral Home, and ASI Incorporated.
Second and 5 for the Mountaineers.
2nd and 5.
7-yard line.
Hauser in the backfield. Bell the throw right into touchdown.
Touchdown.
Mountaineers.
Good. We needed that.
That's a great ball on the seam.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA, Harris Funeral Home, and ASI Incorporated.
Welcome back, fans. Got a special guest with us tonight, Coach Pasour from the volleyball team, who is having a phenomenal year. We've talked about them a lot on the show, Coach. I got to shake your hand because I shake Coach Herron's hand each week. Welcome. Just real quick, got a big game tomorrow up at Watauga, or as some people down here say, Watauga. Tell us about what you're expecting. Like, I mean, obviously you guys, I think, you're the top 2 seeds, if I'm not mistaken. Just from what little bit you know, what are you expecting to see against when you go up and face the Pioneers tomorrow?
Well, what I've heard the most is that the environment is very hostile. Like they bring in a big student section, so we just got to be ready for the crowd noise and the environment. But they have one girl that's a good banger that we're ready for. So
yeah. Speaking of the environment, obviously it would be big anyway because this is a late round in the playoffs. It's hard to gauge it till you get there. Obviously, there's no way you can simulate it. But based on talking about it and getting practice in, what's the feel of the team? Are they feeling confident? Are they feeling pretty good? You think before you head up there tomorrow?
Well, we practiced it today. We got on the mic and pretended to be the crowd.
Sure.
So we simulated it as much as we can as far as preparing for that. But I think they're in good spirits.
Good.
So,
well, they should be. They've accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
I think Drew was reading Friday night. We read some of your stats. Drew? I think you said 151 and 8, something like that. The senior group. I mean that's an unbelievable record in any sport.
Right.
You talk about the accomplishments, and I can say, like when I remember when I came to work here back in 2007, the volleyball program's always been strong. So let me first say that. But even back, you know, Coach Grayson had it back in the early 2000s, and then she was AD when I came in, and I took over softball for her, which was a big deal. But you know, she had done volleyball, and the volleyball was good then, and it's maintained. And so you guys have done a great job, not only with your program but representing the school. Do you ever feel pressure from that? I mean, or is it, you know, because sometimes when programs are really, really strong, it honestly can take the fun away sometimes. I'm hoping, you know, that you guys are still having fun.
We're the coaching staff's very competitive, so like I don't feel pressure from the outside as much as we feel pressure on ourselves. Like we're just competitive. So. And we do it, I think Bridges was the coach before Grayson, and I think Bridges and Grayson had a good reputation with the middle school program, and that's what we have as well, our middle school program. The JV coaches there are JV coaches here, and my assistant coach here is the head coach at the middle school, and I assist her. So we just have this, you know, this pool going from both programs. So. And
that's what it takes. I mean, that's your feeding ground, so to speak.
Right.
But you need to have a good relationship with them, because I know for instance, sometimes in some places, like when we first came here, like with football, it wasn't great. It eventually got there, but like right when we first got here, it wasn't. So you need that relationship over there. I agree with you. So I'm not going to make you talk about them, but I do want to ask, because I don't know this. How many seniors are on the team?
We have 8.
8 of how many?
The starting lineup is 10, so 8 of the 10 are seniors.
That's a big deal.
But there's 17 on the team total. So
that's good. So huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us so strong, is that you know, with 8 seniors, they don't want their season to end.
Right. So. And you know, a lot of times, Coach, and I've seen this in a lot of sports. I mean, sometimes you have those senior-laden teams that perform well, but they have that 1 year. You know, they kind of put it all together, and they finally get that 1 year. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but like with you guys, you have. I mean, this senior team. I mean, I know they've got a state championship under their belt, but you've played deep in the playoffs every year. So really, the way I see it is, there's not really a lot that's going to be thrown at you tomorrow that you've not. I mean, you're not taking a rookie group that they're used to being in these situations, these scenarios, and while that might be a little bit of a hostile environment, I think because of the way you guys have played, you're seasoned that way.
Right, and our schedule, I mean, I always schedule a competitive schedule, but this year I think it was probably more competitive than I've ever had. Like we started out with Highland, then we went right into Franklin. Franklin was a hard game. Maiden, which we thought was going to be an easier game for us. So it was not an easier game. That was actually our loss. And then we went into a tournament, and it's just like our whole season, our non-conference games prepared us for where we are today.
Yeah, and it needs to be that way. Well, and you guys are at the point where, because you've been so successful, you're getting every other team you're playing's best shot.
I agree.
Because it's, to them, they're thinking, if I can knock them off, that's a big deal to us. That's why I look at it. If I'm the opponent going up against a really good team, I feel like I can compete with, but if I can beat them, that's a whole other level that you can get your program to. So I know you get the best shot of everybody too.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so how much sleep will you get tonight?
I don't know. I usually stay up to about 12:30, 1 on days like this, trying to get my brain to shut down.
Yeah, I understand. But you focus on the game in front of you.
Right.
That's right.
I'm not nervous as in the sense of like I'm worried that they can't handle it. They can handle it. It's just more anxious. I'd rather played it tonight.
Sure.
I'm ready to go.
Well, and I know I don't want to speak for you, but I'm going to assume most coaches, in my experience, I'd say most coaches want to win, but they want to win more for the players than for themselves anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what I know you're feeling. It will be great. So head up to Mountain tomorrow. Let's go get it and get after it, and good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about the game here in just a moment, and I'm going to give the player bus and the fan bus. But before I send you off, do you want to say anything to the fans, or you want to add anything?
No, I mean, I do, like, the season's been a little challenging as far as the gym situation. I do appreciate everybody that's kind of helped this season go along. Our senior dads and our volleyball dads have come come out and really supported us and made it special. The middle school for like letting us use the gym and making it ours during the season. There's just been, the touchdown clubs more doing the bus and the food. Like a lot of people stepped up and we appreciate it.
It's a good community.
It is.
And it's been that way a long time, and it just goes to show it's different here.
Right.
But it's a good different.
Yeah.
Good different. Coach, good luck tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Coach Pasour, volleyball team. I'm dropping my glasses. Volleyball team traveling up to Watauga tomorrow. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. And after the break, we'll do This Week at Kings Mountain and close up the show. Be back in just a moment.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. Harris Funeral Home. And ASI Incorporated. So 2nd and 1. Time for a good play downfield. Bell picks and chooses. He's got a man open. Did he get it?
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Mountaineers. That's
the definition of aggressive play call. You just hurt your team. But thank you, Hunter Huss coach.
Wow.
You should have ran the clock. You should have ran the ball, run the clock out, go down. Now you're down two scores.
Welcome back, fans. We're going to close out the show with a couple things. We're going to look first at this week at Kings Mountain and go through the graphic. Drew's going to pull that up here in just a moment. So tonight, right now, soccer is playing out there versus Hunter Huss. Bless their hearts in the rain. As we just talked about with Coach Pasour, tomorrow is the 6A West Regionals at Watauga, starting at 6:30 p.m. If you can go up, please do. Drew and I were talking about earlier, there is a possibility, now don't get mad at me if this isn't true, but there's a possibility that you might could see that game on NFHS if you have a subscription to them. They cover more than just football, so you might could see it there if you would look at NFHS and just see if it's on the game or on the stream. There's a possibility. Men's soccer Wednesday at Crest at 6 p.m. Winter sports tryouts that day also for men's basketball, women's basketball, and swimming. JV football Thursday versus Crest at Crest. If I'm not mistaken, I think Crest is undefeated also, at least they are in the conference. And I know we are as well, so that will be for the JV Conference Championship to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am on that. Varsity football, of course, Friday night here at 7:30 at John Gamble. Of course, that is senior night, and we know that is a big night, so make sure you're here, and that'll be a big crowd. Get here early and be ready for that. Cross country is at the 6A State Championship at Beeson Park in Kernersville on Saturday. So if you've got a runner in that, good luck to them. And then pending, of course, the championship is at NC State. It could be Friday or Saturday. We don't know the date yet, based on what the state decides to do. If the volleyball team were to make the state championship, it could be Friday, and that could alter the JV and varsity football games, like Coach said, or it could be Saturday. And we'll let you know via social media as soon as we can find out. So Drew's got a graphic for volleyball. Of course, they advanced to the regional round up at Watauga, which is what we just talked about. That will be tomorrow night at 6:30 there at Watauga High School versus the Pioneers up in Boone. I think last week's game was a $13 admission, so if you're going, it'll be that. I would like to say a couple of things. Number one, I think I saw again on social media last night that the volleyball dads have purchased some student tickets for them to go and take a group. And speaking of that, we had a local generous donor give money to buy or to pay for the student bus that they can ride up. That's a big deal. So our community comes through once again. We've got such a great community here in Kings Mountain. And thank you, as Coach said, to the Touchdown Club for sponsoring the team bus and for the food that they have received. And once again, I tell you each week there's a great example of how our touchdown club works. It's not just football, it's everything Mountaineer. You can see they're helping the volleyball team. I can speak from experiences. I've told you the story before. When I was softball coach here, they helped us numerous times with things. So you all that are involved in the Touchdown Club, thank you so very much for not only making this broadcast possible, but for also making things possible for our academics and athletics beyond football. So I encourage you, if you are not a part of the Touchdown Club, go to kmtouchdownclub.com and join, or see one of us and we can help you. There is the graphic for the winter sports tryouts. You can see men's, women's basketball, cheerleading. The only one different is cheerleading. You have to email Ms. McComas. You can see that right there. Indoor track, swimming, and wrestling. That graphic is actually on Facebook. I saw it yesterday, and on the school's website. If you've got questions, I know you can contact Coach Haley Spearman or Coach Cruz and ask questions about that. Any more graphics, Drew? Good deal. So a couple things to remind you is to do each week. Continue to be in prayer for our injured players, that they return healthy and happy, and pray for them and their families. Pray for our players that are on the team currently who are filling some roles maybe they weren't thinking they were going to have to do, but that are doing. Pray for our coaches and their families and the time they dedicate. Just support and be positive as we roll into the playoff season. Speaking of that, the coaches show next week will depend on the playoff situation. If there is a playoff game, if we do not have a first round bye, top 8 seeds get a first round bye. If we don't have a bye, we'll have a show Monday because we will have a game Friday. If we have a bye, we will not have a show until the following week. That way we can talk about the Crest game and then who we will be playing and what will be the second round of the playoffs, but the first round for us. So that will be determined over the weekend, and we'll put it out on social media. Drew's really good about communicating that, and so we'll tell you about that. So there's a possibility we will not have a show. That'll depend on what happens in the playoffs, just to let you know, but there's also a possibility we will, and we'll go from there. So make sure you love those who are around you. Hug them, kiss them, tell them you love them, and thank the good Lord for them and all the blessings that you have. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you Thursday at Crest and Friday here. And go volleyball team tomorrow night. Let's get that win to get into the state championship at the end of the week. Have a blessed week.
Mountaineer Football Tonight was brought to you by the Kings Mountain Touchdown Club and sponsored by ASI Incorporated, Harris Funeral Home, and the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. The Player of the Week, brought to you by Butler's Outdoor Design. This has been a presentation of KMHS Sports.